Welcome back, everybody. Matt here, and today we are back with another episode on the Splashpad series. It's basically just another update because I just wanted to say that we're not showing every single itty-bitty piece with the Splashpad, so there's going to be some parts where, like in a new video, there might be some more stuff done, but we're going to talk about it though. There's just so much stuff with the Splashpad, and plus we're not working on it every single day. So there's some days where my schedule doesn't line up with my dad's, and he's here working and I can't make it up, so... yeah, so we're going to show you guys what we've been doing, or what he's been doing, a lot of the stuff. But the last part you've seen was us laying the concrete for the footer bases. But he dug all the holes and everything for all the pipes to connect. And those are almost connected into the house. They're just kind of laying there. But you didn't have the right pipes, right, to actually fully connect it? Yeah. Is that the issue?
Yeah, we had all the pipes to connect it.
Oh, to the wall?
Oh, tied in down here, yeah. No, I just need to get some 90-degree fittings to pop in the garage. I'm pretty sure they saw the mess of hoses down here earlier. It was all the pool hoses coming in. We finally were able to get them all tied up. I focused on it this whole weekend to get all the pool plumbing tied into the pool room so I can get the manifolds mounted on the walls to get ready to do the splash pad, because after we poured the footer bases, we started to run the plumbing and got it just outside the splash pad, and then we were going to move on to the nozzles, and then we realized it was just going to be a mess of pipes, and I had to get all this taken care of first and get the footer pipes at least to the garage, and then I still have to connect them up, but I gotta get the parts still.
Oh, one thing I do want to talk about, because you finished this and I never even brought it up, is inside the garage. He actually kind of rearranged the, or he connected the manifolds and everything. So hopefully it's a little bit better lighting. This is kind of the setup that he has so far, which I'll let him kind of give a talk about.
Well, we got the manifolds that you watched us build mounted on the walls now. You can kind of see how that's plumbed up. I got the drills holed where we're bringing the pipes in into the garage. And then I got most of the pool equipment tied up. Or connected up. That was the first thing we had to do to make sure the pool equipment was in place, because we got all new pool equipment and a bigger pump. Just so everything lines up and matches up, and then we had to figure out the route, how we were going to connect everything up. I mean, as far as a pump go too, we got a big 3.5 horsepower pump to make sure it'll handle the flow of everything. It's a variable speed and a variable flow pump, because I wanted to get one of those, because if the splash pad requires 30 gallons per minute or 40 gallons per minute, we can set the variable flow to 40 gallons. So if someone comes in and kicks on the slide to get the water going to the slide, it's going to take water from the system. So the variable flow will compensate for that, so it'll speed it up so it stays to that 40 or 50 gallons per minute or whatever we need, and we'll set it at it.
Right.
So, I mean, just a quick, I'll show you what we got going on here real quick. This part's not connected up to the system yet, but we're kind of working backwards with everything. So this is going to be the slide, so it's just simple on or off, because the water will be coming in this direction. And we put a flow meter up here too, which also works as a check valve. So we got our slide. This goes to the return. So this is where we switch from the filter will go, send it to the pool returns, like a typical pool does. And then if we want the splash pad on, we'll just come adjust this around, and then the water will shoot. It'll turn off the pool returns, turn on the water flowing to the splash pad. So the first manifold in line we have going down, this one goes all the footing bases that you saw us put in, and then you can adjust these accordingly. Some fixtures won't require as much water, so you can dial it down to get a good balance of everything. And then second on the run, we have the solenoid manifold, which these will go out to all the spray nozzles, which we're putting in right now. And then the last one here, which is similar to this over here. This one's just going to go to the sidewinder fixture, because that's an always on fixture. It's not triggered by the controller like the other nozzles.
I see that you still haven't replaced that broken one yet.
Nope, I got the parts though. They're in the vehicle. It's not on my priority right now. My priority is getting the splash pad put together, because the concrete guys said they'd come as soon as we're ready with that. And I want to get that done as quick as possible, because then they said it'll be about a week or two until they come to pour the rest of the concrete. So priority number one, get the splash pad done, wired in. After we get the nozzles done, then it's the lighting. We got to get that done, and then we just got to get the form set to the correct height. And then I'll call Dan up, our concrete guy, and let him know we're ready. And then once we're done with that, then I gotta start working on the pool and getting that ready to backfill everything.
I mean, it looks pretty good. We definitely got, I mean, you set up fairly decent, and everything looks pretty good. I mean,
yeah, well, I was gonna use my old filter, and I was like, everything else is pretty new, and
might as well buy a new filter.
The filter's the cheapest out of all the equipment, so we got a new sand filter. The other sand filter was putting some sand back in the pool, so but in the past, so I was like, let's just change it.
Get a new one instead, why not?
Yeah, we got an auto chlorinator, which is gonna hold your tablets. I probably didn't need one this big, but I figured since I was going big on everything else, you can put, I can't remember how many tablets, 40 or so tablets, and then it'll auto chlorinate the pool. Won't have to think about it. We did keep the old pool heater. For something from the 80s, it works really, really good still. So it doesn't look good, but it still works good. So for now we're keeping it, and we'll replace it if we ever need to.
Right. So let's go outside and we'll just give you a quick update on what we haven't shown you in the previous video. So we'll see you in a second. So in the last episode, you guys saw that we were working on the footing bases, which are now actually we threw rocks in, like pebbles, or
yeah, the small stone. We use small stone for our base because it compacts better. Because this actually kind of ran off hill originally, and you can see it on the back side of the pad, how much we actually brought it up. But we had to level it off with a pool, so we got everything to grade. We use the small stone because it compacts better to bring everything up. And then after we poured the concrete for the footers, we just backfilled with around it with the small stone just to bring everything back up to grade, to get the piping partially buried, and so we could get ready for the nozzle plumbing, which is what we're working on right now.
Yeah, and like with the maze of pipes that are all over the place right here, that's to do with all the nozzle placements. So actually, I guess we can kind of give an idea of why we're doing this.
Well, if you did see the planning video, we kind of went with that format, and I actually numbered the nozzles. If you look at the nozzles sitting here, I wrote a number on the bag just to kind of represent the numbers that we were talking about in the planning video, and started laying them out. And then I realized where I originally had it laid out in the planning video, it wasn't going to work, because in the planning video we didn't have these 2 additional footing bases in here, so that changed things up. And we're always changing things up on the fly anyway, so it took me a little while to figure out where the best locations were. So once I figured that out, then I sprayed orange dots on the ground, and then I left the nozzles near it, so anything that's labeled with a 1, we had to connect to each other. And originally in the planning video, I had solenoid or nozzles number 1 over here, 2 of them, and nozzles number 2 on that side, 2 of them over there. But last minute, I just decided to put nozzle number 1 over here and nozzle number 1 over in that far corner. So when our programmer's cycling through and triggering the water on and off, you don't have 2 nozzles side by side turning on and off at the same time. So that way they'll all be cycling at different paces. I think that'd be more fun for the kids. After I got those marked out, and so I started laying pipe out, trying to figure out where they go. So we're basically connecting the dots. So nozzle number 1, we put our riser, we ran our path along the back side, and then right up to the other nozzle number 1. Nozzle number 2, kind of the same thing. Set our start point, followed along, kept everything to the back side of the pad, and then stopped over here for nozzle number 2, and so on. One thing you don't see down here is a way for the water to get into it. I didn't put the T's in yet. I just want to get them laid out and connected, and then I'll figure out where I want to put the T's so I can run the piping towards the pump room. It's just confusing with all the pipe laying out and trying to figure out how you want to do it.
So I noticed with these, why do you have the cap still on these?
Well, those are what they call risers. These 1/2-inch PVC is what your nozzle's gonna ultimately end up on. We got the caps on them right now because when we get everything tied in, we want to pressure test everything, and we want these capped off. So when everything checks out good, what we're going to do is cut these off at the right height. Just like when we set the bases, we're going to run our string line to the top of the form from the drain to figure out the right height for these, and then we'll make our cut, glue these in place. What I want to do is pound some rebar down alongside and either zip tie or wire tie this to it, so when the concrete guys come, if they bump it or if it moves a little bit, it won't get bumped out of the way from where it's supposed to be. It'll stay right in its one spot. We'll make sure it runs nice and level.
I just want to also bring up about like you, because you've been doing really all of this. So like, how's the actual gluing been and time consuming has it been?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit longer than we anticipated. If you remember from the planning video, we said it was going to be about a week to 2 weeks. That was over ambitious. Plus, the scope of this project is bigger than just the Splashpad too. Right. It's pretty much rebuilding the pool. We are 4 weeks into it right now. The first 2 weeks was breaking up the concrete around the pool, getting rid of it, digging for gas lines, bringing everything up to grade, backfilling, running all new pool lines and all that. And that seemed like it went pretty quick for what it was, and then it seemed like everything came to a screeching halt, but I lost a lot of my help. Originally I was hoping I could take a week or 2 off from work. That's not happening. So I'm working on it a few hours a night, every night, and then mainly on the weekends. So so it's taken a little bit longer than originally anticipated, and it's been getting, at times it gets frustrating, and then I start walking away from it, and then I realize that nothing's getting done if I walk away from it. So,
well, in reality, once like we put the sidewinder in and then connect all these things up, ideally the concrete's going to get laid right after that, right?
Yeah, I'm in a better mindset now, knowing that we're very close to getting all the plumbing tied in. I'll have this finished up tomorrow, and I'm going to get the fittings tomorrow to finish up the footing bases to get those running and tied into the manifold. And then once that's done, next thing is laying out the lighting, and hopefully I can have that done before this weekend. I mean, it's Monday now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I lose track of days.
I actually don't even know what day
So
it
it's
is.
only Monday, and so I got a full week in front of me, so lighting should be in place without a problem.
Yeah, so do you have places that you're going to put lighting, or you're just still going to kind of go off the best
I'm going to
location?
do it like I did with the nozzles. I'm going to come out here, just set the lights down, imagine where the water is gonna go, and figure out the best location for them. I planned this all winter long. I had the drawings, the layouts, everything figured out, and then as soon as I got here, everything changed. So
Yep.
So you can come up with a plan, but it's always going to change. You just start thinking, and you come up with better ideas, hopefully.
Right. So I think we kind of hit all the main points for now. I think I'm gonna cut it here, and then honestly, we'll probably just end up doing the rest of tonight without even recording, but
right.
There'll be a few separate days into these types of videos, like with the splash pad, until we start getting further down, and then there can be more stuff. But I mean, soon here, it's not too much further.
No,
after all this,
we're close. Like I said, I should have all this tied up tomorrow. Hopefully, run into the pool room with the others, and then I can start working on the lighting, get those located, and then running the conduit for that and the wiring. And then once that's done, it's setting the form height to the correct height. Right now we got it just kind of laying just so we know our workspace, but we'll bring it up pretty much to the height of those pegs that are in the ground and get it to where we need it. And then we got to backfill everything too. So
yep.
Right now, if you notice, the form is about 3-4 inches below the peg. Where the pegs are is the height we want. So once we get the form set, then we got to bring in about 4 inches of gravel to throw on top of this. We'll throw some more sand down on the pipes and bring all the fine gravel in and backfill everything. And we'll take the transit and make sure everything is sloping just like it's supposed to be. Once it gets the concrete, we're just going to do everything 4 inches less than what we need to, because the 4 inches will be the concrete when we're done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there is quite a bit more. We got to get wire mesh and all that other stuff, but we'll talk about that in another episode.
Yeah, we'll start talking about that once we get to that point. So I'm gonna cut it here. I mean, it'll be a split of a second for you, but maybe a day or two for me. So I guess we'll see you in the next part. All right, so I'm cutting in here real quick because this next clip where I basically just said the next day or whatever, I actually don't have the footage for it. I have no clue where it went, and I was looking all over for the past hour. So basically, nothing crazy has happened between like the point that you just watched and what's going to be upcoming in the next video. So I don't know if I just never went back up there or what. So yeah, I don't have the clip basically. So there's nothing more after this part. What's basically going to change is going to happen in the next update video. And then ideally after that is the concreting video. I'm pretty sure is when we're going to do it. So sorry. Hope you guys do enjoy this. If you do, feel free to click up at the top right of the screen and watch the rest of the playlist. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Or if you guys have any things that you would like to see done with the splash pad, feel free to leave a comment. And yeah, hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you do, feel free to like and subscribe. It means a lot. I'm really trying to grow on YouTube, but don't also think this is all like this channel is going to be all about like construction and like how to and building. It's not. There's going to be so much more to this channel also. So if you guys like whether it's like woodworking or even like outdoor stuff or just like relaxing like vlogs, I guess, feel free to stick around. There's going to be more videos coming out. I'm going to try to do weekly videos, just keep it going, but sometimes I miss a week or two or whatever. I don't know. But I hope you guys do enjoy this. I'm not going to repeat myself, and yeah, peace.